And we're about to get started. So call a friend, tell a friend that the big set is on their radio, and it's important that they listen in as we ride all the way up to 11 o'clock. We're in a brand new month. This month is very special for Ugandans. It's when we celebrate our independence. On the 9th of October, we celebrated the 63rd Independence Day of our nation. 9 presidents, there's about 6 generations and about 45 million Ugandans. We're standing tall and proud. And we can say that we are the pearl of Africa. It will never stop, no matter what we are dealing with across the country. This country is ours, and there is nowhere else that we call home except here. Now, we're talking about the 30 years of the making of the Constitution. We've had this Constitution since it was promulgated in 1995 on the 8th of October. So, we are assessing how far it's gotten us, and is it in the best shape that we still hope for a country, or with the amendments that have been made in the different articles of the Constitution, perhaps we ditch it and create a new book that will, will all of us follow and have it not amendable once in a while, like we've done, just like the Americas. That is about 200 years and a few amendments. We are going to be talking about that and much more. But before we go into the topical discussion that we put on our social media handles, 912 Cruise FM on X and 91.2 Cruise FM on Facebook. Now, the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation financial year to corruption. We know that our budget is about 72 trillion, so minus 10 trillion. So we're literally operating on a 60 trillion budget. Now, Uganda will be celebrated 63 years of independence. The president welcomed back Colonel Samson Mande, who was living in exile. He had lived in exile for about 25 years in Sweden. We know that he was a part of those that fought in the liberation struggle in Luero from 1981 to 1986, and we are happy that he's back. A couple of his comrades have passed on, but so many are also alive and they're living peacefully in their retirement. Talk about General Sejisa, General Jim Muhwezi, and the so many General Mugume, and the so many that liberated our country. Now, the country also condemned the actions of the Assistant Superintendent of Police, Clive Nsime Barije, who was caught on camera assaulting a female fuel station attendant in Chanja over 30,000 unpaid bill. Now, this is embarrassing. I know, upon the police to arrest him and want to see justice and all that. I think he failed to play cool and to manage the situation. It could land him in a couple of problems. But we only hope that he gets to know that impunity is not something that he should be proud of. Now, the nationwide teachers' strike is on, and it's taken a new twist because teachers are saying they will not be part of the supervision of the candidates that are about to sit for exams. We know that last Friday, the S4 candidates had their briefing. They're starting exams about on a Monday. And the teachers, especially those that teach the humanities, are on strike, saying that they need the gap bridge between the payments of the science teachers and the arts. And we're following that closely. We only hope there've been, kind of statements that have been issued by government, especially the Minister of Public Service, Mruri Mokasa, and warning teachers that if at all they don't make it back to the classroom, they could lose their jobs. We also know that the president made it known that the teachers will not blackmail them, and the government is focused on prioritizing the sciences over the humanities, and we shall see this and how it falls out. The National Unity Platform wrote to the IPOD secretary of the council seeking an admission into the IPOD, citing Parliament's recent amendment to the Political Parties and Organization Act, making it mandatory for all political parties under the National Consultative Forum to either be part of the IPOD or the Forum for the Non-Representative Political Parties and Organizations in Parliament. And there've been, rebuke from so many actors against the NUP for pretense not to belong to the iPod and only go there for the money and all that. So we're following that closely as we get to discuss the 30 years of our constitution. Help me welcome Musat Kwatanese, who is the district resident commissioner for Ruampara. Council Bwenje Deusdedit, who is a lawyer, and Peter Mpaka, who is a member of the National Unity Platform. He's the party flag bearer for the National Unity Platform in Barra City North there for Member of Parliament. Good morning, Musa Tukwatanse, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, my brother Wanyaji. Good morning to comrades here in the studio, and good morning to our dear listeners. I want first of all congratulate all Ugandans for now 63 years of independence, and I pray that we all enjoy the independence by doing what promotes Uganda and what makes Uganda be at the forefront of whatever we do. And also, I want to congratulate His Excellency the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for now 63 years of liberation, and majorly the 40 years, the journey of the 40 years we have taken as a step to make sure the independence we celebrate is felt by all Ugandans. And I want to call all Ugandans and inform them that today, His Excellency the President resumes his campaigns in Nebi, and people are welcoming him wherever he goes. That shows that really Ugandans appreciate what the NRM government has done and appreciate His Excellency the President, and still sees vision in him for steering this country forward. And I also want to pray and wish all senior four candidates success as they are resuming their final exams on Monday, and I pray that the exams go on smoothly and the exercise ends smoothly. Otherwise, I wish you nice deliberations. Thank you for hosting me.
All right, that's Musa Tukwatanse. Welcome. Yes, Bwenja Dostedi,
Yes,
good morning and welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm very much fine. Of course, as the president of the SWAP, the servant of the Wananchi Party, I want to assure our members that we are on the right course to finding accountability for the death of our member, Denmark Adios. And remember, it's now 64 days since he passed on, and filed an application in courts, and we are surely progressing well. We hope that the court is going to be very steadfast and show us or find whether Denmark died as a result of an accident or he was killed by some other person. And as we wait for that kind of finding, I expect our members to stay calm and try to make sure that as the constitution of our parties says, we demand accountability. Our value is accountability, and it is our goal that no death should be unexplained. No person should die in vain. Every human being has a right to life, and if that right has to be extinguished, or if a person is to expire, it must be in accordance with the law. And of course, I heard my friend here talk about independence. Of course, there's nothing to be independent about, and I think I'm going to talk about the same. And of course, as an Arsenal member, this is our time. It is now or never. We have a very deep squad. If we don't take the trophy now, then I don't foresee any time when we shall. So I beg our members of the team and the fans to have a lot of hope and to know that every other day is a step towards the podium.
Okay.
And if you don't win it now, surely there's something wrong.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome, Bwenja Dostedi. Yes, Peter Mpaka, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, WestJ, and good morning, our dear listeners. I want to thank you, WestJ, for inviting us to the big seat this morning. My comment would go to how the police and the forces are guarding our presidential candidates en route to the different campaigning areas they have been to. For us as the NUP, we've had a few scuffles with the police and those law enforcement officers, but we still want to emphasize that our candidate has a right to use the proper, well-tarmacked Ugandan roads. Our presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has a right to reach people in the central business areas of towns and cities. It is inappropriate and not right, and I want to congratulate Byabakama. In a way, he came out also to give a comment on the same mistreatment that is vetted on us. So our president is taking a rest. We are opening up and discussing before the nation our manifesto today at our party headquarters. Those who are listening in, you can follow also that event. But most importantly, let's try to see that we have a peaceful campaign period and a peaceful election. Contesting for MP Mbarara City North on the NUP party. Abampurikirize nimbashaba karuru kandi nishaba ngo murundo wo gututerera MP ndahinduka. Thank you very much, Westg.
All right, we're stopping for a very short break. When we come back, we'll be touching right into a topic of discussion. Don't forget that you can be a part of the conversation this morning when you call in on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. And our social media platforms are open on 912 Cruise FM on X and 91.2 Cruise FM on Facebook. We're stopping shortly. When we come back right into our topic of discussion. No touch your radio. Good morning.
It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
It's 22 minutes past 9 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, good friends. Good morning. My name is Wesige Banyaji. We are on plot 12, Mutile, Mbarara City, the land of milk and honey. Don't forget that November is almost knocking on the door, and what it means for us here on Cruise FM is love, giving back, celebration, niceness coming to your area, and all the other activations that happens in November. But don't wait for November. You get a chance to advertise for us. Just walk into a radio station, and if at all you have a promotion, you have a business, you have an event, you have an activity, you can be able to scale up your business when you advertise for us. We just saw it on Thursday in the Belka Live Addict Experience. I'm very sure those that turned up and saw the numbers and the experience and the vibe. That's the partnership that Cruise FM does, and we're not about to stop. And for the big sitters, I want a sponsor for this show. So if at all you're a business owner and you're there and you feel you can be a part of us, don't hesitate to reach out, and we shall give you the mileage that you need. My name is Wesige Banyaji. I have with me in studio Peter Mpaka, who is the flag bearer of the National Interplatform Barra City North. Council Bwenje Deusdidit is a lawyer, and Musat Kwatanese is an RDC for Wampara. The conversation this morning is centered on the 30 years since the promulgation of our constitution. We know there's a famous photo of President Museveni and the late Right Honorable James Wapakabulo when he was receiving that constitution after the Constituent Assembly that sat in 1995, that debated and later passed the constitution. And we want to appreciate there's so many gallant men and women of Uganda that debated and drafted, and the Odoki Commission that moved around the country to, garner all these views and opinions of Ugandans at the time, knowing that these very old people, the wise people, are still alive in this country, Benjamin Odoki and James Ogola, and there's so many that were part of that process, and we want to thank them and appreciate them. Now, the conversation this morning is to flash a torch on the Constitution, the 30 years, what it means, and the different kind of amendments that have been in the different provisions of that Constitution, being a living document and the reflection of our history, the way it's very clear in our preamble, knowing the civil wars and the instability that we've had, the entrenched articles there, and the Article 1 with the power belonging to the people, and so many that we are going to talk about, and the Bill of Rights in Chapter 4, and all that it's different from the 1967 Constitution, 1966, and all these constitutions that we've had previously and prior to the 1985 Constitution. Let me start with Bwenje. Bwenje, we've had this constitution for 30 years. What's your reflection of the constitution and the journey Uganda's walked in, the journey to constitutionalism and the rule of law? Are we up to speed to what the vision bearers and those that drafted the constitution had in mind when they promulgated it?
Of course, no. And of course, that is my short answer. But the rationale is, see, the constitution is ideally expected to be a set of principles, ideas, aspirations, the wishes of the people in terms of how they want to be governed, in terms of elections or no elections, in terms of the separation of powers, in terms of human rights and freedoms, in terms of who gets to occupy public offices, how those persons are removed from those offices, who has to give accountability and for what. And of course, the values of the ideals of a democratic state. So when we sat in 1995 and promulgated the Constitution on the 8th of October 1995, it was supposed to be our fourth Constitution. The first one, of course, being the 1962, then there was a 1966 one, then there's one of 1967. But of course, the first Constitution, in practical terms, was the 1902 Order in Council, because it set the stage for what surely has to be a formal structure of a civilized society in terms of who has who is in charge of government, who has the powers to make laws, who has the power to make decisions of a court of law, and so forth. So, by and large, the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, it was supposed to be the best constitution that Uganda has ever had. But of course, as time has gone by, it has been reduced to it is now like a share. It is more of a skeleton. It has no flesh. Because if you remove if you remove the thumb cap and then the cap on the edge, then we actually now don't have any faith in
Council
the Constitution.
Gwenje, that constitution is
We
not
thought it
made
was-
up only two articles. That constitution is made of
It was-
several provisions.
Yes.
So to reduce this to only two articles that were amended
Yes, yes.
would be unfair to the minds of those that took time to collect the opinions and the ideals of Ugandans and reduce them in writing. Would it be a fair assessment?
I get you see the most important article there in the Constitution is how a president is elected. Because one of the features of a state is that it must be able to have effective control of government. Okay, and without a head of state, you have no state. Okay, so why I'm focusing on those two provisions is that they were enacted to be the basis of a fruitful and successful transition, if not a succession, from one head of state to another head of state. But now we do not have a chance of that, really, because, of course, the Constitution was tampered. And so we, as time has gone by, of course, in my own assessment, what we have now is just a book. It is a book which is not being respected by the head of state and head of government. The parliament that we have there is just a stooge. It is just there to rubber stamp the decisions of the executive arm of government. We have a UPDF which is it is actually on a frolic of its own. It has no control. It has even the CDF himself is above the UPDF. He's actually above the Constitution. He's so untouchable. So now, what I would want is a Constitution which is able to garner the respect of all and sundry in the state. But when the Constitution is not being upheld, promoted, respected, then it ceases to be a constitution, surely. And as long as the status quo is as it is, then I think it will of course call for a stronger need for either a revampation of the constitution and maybe to kind of change some of the provisions there, because although the first provision of the Constitution is that all power belongs to the people actually don't have any power at all. The power is only in just about 1%, especially the members of the first family.
Okay.
Yeah, so 30 years down the road, surely for me, there's not much to be happy about, because the Constitution is supposed to be our guiding document. But even the powers that be do not, they have no idea of what the Constitution is.
Okay, thank you. Let me go to Musa. Musa, on the day this Constitution was promulgated, the president in the Constituent Assembly then made the statement to mean that he is given the best gift to Uganda, having a living document in the Constitution that had just been passed and adopted for a nation that was from war, or less than about, 5 years about that. And the 30 years of this document, there's been a couple of amendments in the Constitution, but also the respect that it has by all citizens. We know when the president is swearing in, and all public officials, they swear to uphold this document and follow it to the letter. The judiciary literally every single day makes pronouncements on this document. Do you believe that it has served its intention and purpose for the 30 years that it's been implemented? Do you think it's what the initiators of this law envisioned at the start? How far has been the journey?
First of all, I want to congratulate His Excellency the President for the vision he brought in 1994 when he called the Constitutional Assembly to sit and have this constitution in place. And I want to commend that when this constitution was being made in 1994, that time, majorly the members of the Constitutional Assembly,
the Constituent
Assembly, were majorly focusing on the prevailing situations and the predicting the future. However, they were not too projectory to what may happen in the future. That's why they provided a platform for the Constitution to be amended time to time, so that at that particular time, the amendment can suit the current demands. That's why we have seen from time to time, when a demand arises, Ugandans speak through their members of parliament, and the Constitution is amended. And so it is very unlucky for the person of Ubwenje, a council, saying that the Constitution is just amended, when he is aware that every amendment in this Constitution is presented before the floor of Parliament, where the Parliament has members of Parliament representing every constituency, where these members of Parliament are voted by the Ugandans.
Maybe what we can go back to is the events that culminated into the different amendments of the Constitution. We know certainly the first serious amendment was on the entrenched article to introduce multi-party dispensation. That's in 2005. And we also saw an amendment in the law that required that the presidential terms should be scrapped. We know that the history, all members of parliament were given 5 million shillings to have that amendment. In 2017, in September, we know when an amendment of the Constitution was required in Article 102B, we know that members of parliament up to today are still nursing injuries because of the aftermath of the amendment of the Constitution. And we know that money exchanged hands and to have that amendment. Are these some of the things that you're talking about? Are you proud of the events that culminate into the amendment?
Now, I have always said it here that to me, a member of parliament who is voted by the people, I would not expect to see the very people who vote these people into parliament coming, shouting that there is an amendment. These MPs have been bought, when even it is an allegation with no evidence. So to me, I may not discuss the buying of MPs to cause an amendment in the Constitution, because it has no fact. That money has no record. And so I cannot debate it. and also
I know.
if at all it happened,
we all hear.
and if at all it happened,
we know you're in a very tight spot.
and if
But we also know that these are facts. We've had members of parliament try to take back some of these monies that have been given to them for reasons the whole country knows, to force an amendment of the constitution. So you can debate simplistically, but acknowledge facts for
now
what they are.
I want to also inform Ugandans that in 2005, when the constitution was amended and they introduced multi-party system, did other parties come up? Yes, they came up.
That was through a referendum.
In 2000, when they introduced when they amended the term limits, did it make president a solo candidate or a solo president not contest with others? No. People have been going in elections and president wins them in a broad daylight. In 2017, when they introduced, when they amended the age limit, did it stop people in 2021 from contesting against President Museveni? No, they came and contested and we won them. Today, 2026, we are going in an election. Is it stopping someone of 25 years from contesting or someone of 80 years from contesting? No, we are going in an election and we are going to win them. So, to me, if we were here discussing that the constitution was amended to make President Museveni a life president with no election, with no what, that one is a very hot debate. But when the constitution provides an election that is run, we have seen parties now, they are out there campaigning. We are seeing Bob Wine moving here, Mugisha Muntu moving here, President Museveni moving here. Everybody is struggling to look for support. If at all these opposition people see that the constitution was tampered with to make President Museveni a life president, then why are they developing interest in contesting? Why can't they make him go through an opposite? It means they trust the constitution. They know Uganda is running on constitution, and they know for whatever we do is guided by law. And secondly, I want to talk about what Kansobwenje has talked about here. He has said that the constitution was tampered with to the extent that UPDF is no more. I think you heard of that statement.
No, I didn't.
And he said it. And to the person of Kansobwenje, if he can read Article 208 and read the functions of the UPDF and comes here and makes that statement, and actually I'm requesting him to withdraw it, because one, UPDF has tried and is trying its level best to make sure the territorial boundaries of Uganda are secured. For 40 years now, Uganda is not at peace, which has never happened before. UPDF, we have seen it going out here, building schools, making sure it participates in the development of the country. It is also one of its functions. We have seen UPDF fully engaging civilians and participating with civilians and being on good terms with civilians, which has never happened with previous governments. It is because of this constitution. So when Kansobwenje now comes here and says Uganda is as if UPDF is as if no more, what when we are not at war, when UPDF is even taking a step to secure peace in other countries, being trusted by DRC, being trusted by Somalia, then Ugandans are here because of the too much peace. They have not seen wars, they have not had guns, then they come here and say UPDF is no more. Really, I request Kansobwenje to withdraw that statement.
When you want to rebut
that? Yeah, you see, okay, number one, she's saying we, and then we and the opposition. Who does he mean by we? Especially as an RDC. Who is we?
Ugandans, perhaps.
No, because he said we are going to defeat the opposition.
So the NRM.
The NRM.
Yes. I am a member of the National Resistance Movement, Patriotic League of Uganda, who believes in Musevenomics, who supports His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni because of his clear ideology that has steered Uganda for 40 years.
Yes.
Then that means, actually, that alone means that we don't have a constitution.
Because it's a public
Article 230 3 of the Constitution says another DC shall be a public servant. So if he stands here and says, I'm another DC, but I'm also a member of the NRM, I support the NRM.
But this man is the
and then
representative of the president.
Yes, he's the representative
and the
of the
president is a flag-bearing member is a card-bearing member of the National
He's
Resistance
the
Movement.
representative of the president in Rwampara.
Who is a member of the
So
NRM.
he's not the representative of the chairperson of NRM
How
in
is the
Rwampara.
agent very different from the principal?
No, you see,
How is an agent different from the
you see,
principal?
an agent is only restricted to the terms of the contract of his agency. Among his terms, there is no provision that you shall represent me in the performance of my functions as the chairperson of the NRM.
If the principal is who acts
Yes.
through an
And
agent,
also-
no, let me help you.
I want him.
If
I want
a-
him
if he-
to show us any provision of his contract,
Yes.
which says that you should represent me in the performance of my functions as the chairperson of the NRM. If it is there, I will go out.
Now,
Is it there?
What I
No,
want-
no. Is it there or not?
No, but
Here,
No,
we have
it's
two
just a
people.
simple question.
Here we have two people.
It's a simple
Wenje.
question.
Wenje, here we have
No,
two people.
it's a very
we have
simple
Twatan
question.
Semusa, the RDC. We have Twatan Semusa, the patriotic Uganda.
You see.
And so,
You
that's
see-
why even when an election reaches, I have right to vote.
Exactly.
If at all what you were saying is right,
but
I would
even
not
soldiers, but
restrict
even
my
soldiers
vote.
vote. Even when
So
they
when the chairperson of the EC
Vote.
has a right to vote.
So that means that
No, I want you to
that
answer my
Twatan
question.
Semusa, a voter, has the side he supports. Then the Twatan
Yes.
Semusa, the
And,
RDC,
uh-huh.
has also the
Having a side is
constitutional
okay,
duties he performs.
but you should not be in the open as a supporter of a party, either in the opposition or not. See, being
what
another
what
DC,
makes you feel better? For him to deny that he has no allegiance to the
No, no, no,
NRM,
no. You see-
or to
you
just
see-
accept
you
it
see-
and deal with him that way?
You see, a public servant swears or he takes an oath under the Constitution and, of course, the Public Service Standing Orders,
Yes.
not to be openly partisan. So for him to come on public radio and then say, I support Museveni,
Musevenomics.
I support Museveni, PLU, and then
Musevenomics
tomorrow,
is an ideology that
and then
encompasses development of this nation that has driven this nation from 1960.
Let me bring
1986
in.
to
Let me
date.
bring in Peter. Let me
then,
bring,
then of course on the second, say I said the UPDF does not exist because it has no control of its CDF. And I want him to show us a provision in the Constitution which says that the UPDF shall be above the UPDF.
that the UPDF shall be above.
No,
the
that the
UPDF.
CDF shall be above the control of the UPDF. It's not there.
Where are you getting that from?
Him, you see, my submission was that we have a UPDF which has no control of its head. And so if you do not have a control of one of you, then you are not there.
How do you say that the UPDF does not control the CDF?
Yes, because for all the actions he has done, he ought to have been subjected to the court martial. A person who goes on social media and says we are torturing A, B, and C, and for reason A, B, and C, and we want to make sure that by the time we are done with him, he has mastered.
Oh, okay.
eh?
Thank you.
So I want to be very emphatic at that when you have a head of an institution who is not subject to the laws of the institution, then you have no institution at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. But let me bring in Peter. Peter, as a member of the opposition, knowing that all citizens are bound by this document called the Constitution, we've had it for about 30 years, and we are very proud that on the day of the promulgation of that Constitution, the entire continent was proud that for the very first time, a nation like Uganda was having the best law book that all citizens would be bound by. knowing that you've been in the murky waters of politics and your knowledge with the rule of law and your interface with the state, do you think this document is something that we should all be proud of as citizens of this country?
Yeah, thank you, West J, and I want to also say thank you to my colleagues here. On a good note, West J, I also want to congratulate the NRA and the UPDF and President Museveni for creating a semblance of stability in Uganda for the last 40 years. Now, this stability, President Museveni has been able to be tactfully manipulative of all systems and supports of government. He will put up something that is called a general election. But when you go on ground and see what's happening on ground in the general election, the election does not look like an election. It's actually like a war field. He will put up something that looks like a constitution, like we are discussing this morning. But in the general practice of the constitution, it catches, or the laws in the constitution reprimand small fish, but the so-called big fish are protected by the same laws. He puts up something that looks like a state, but in actual sense, it doesn't function like a state. It's actually a family rule, or a rule of a few who are privileged. Because, like we have been discussing, Musa Tukwatanise here, if you are to follow the due process of how he was appointed as an RDC, you'll find that he was largely appointed an RDC because he supports the chairman of NRM. Not because he's patriotic, not because he had the most excellent credentials, but because he portrays himself as a supporter of the NRM. And you may find that even there was no competitive bidding. He was just headhunted and put in place. And that's what happens in all other institutions. If you're looking for a job, it's you are a son of so and so, you are a son of who, or you are a daughter of who, and then you are able to get into service of the nation, whether you qualify or you don't qualify. As a matter of fact, the IGG, the former IGG, Betty Kamia, had given us statistics of how public service is full of people who faked documents and got appointments. So you have a state that says we have a police, but the people in the police are not qualified. You have a state which says we have the judiciary, but the people who are in the judiciary, came through all sorts of windows and corners. You have a state which says we have the UPDF, but you hear that when people are being recruited, they have to pay a certain amount of money to be recruited. Teachers, sub-county chiefs, and so forth and so on. So the NRA created this stability, but has manipulated what would have been a very good achievement for selfish gains. There is nothing about the amendments that we've been talking about, apart from the selfishness of President Museveni and those close to him. There is nothing about these. The Ugandans have so many times voted him out. But at the declaration of the elections, he declares himself and usurps the powers of the constitution and swears. And it looks like a normal process. And to the ordinary Ugandan who is a farmer in the village, he thinks President Museveni won, when actually he didn't win. he has been able to take control of all state institutions. So when we have such a circumstance, if we have such circumstances and we are living by these.
Allow me to make a small inquiry. My brother, in the 2021 general elections, we saw it that the National Unity Platform, which you subscribe to,
Yes.
raised a petition against President Museveni that he rigged you. Then later on, in the due course of the day, as the constitution was taking its course, we saw Bob Wine and his members withdrawing the petition. And here now you are telling people that President
Why?
Museveni,
You see, why?
Now the
Why
question
did he
is,
withdraw?
if at all you think he rigged you, why didn't you continue with the case?
You see,
and now another question:
the
why is it
NUP
that if you don't trust the process, you know President Museveni will declare himself in 2026? Why are you then participating?
Yes.
You
okay.
see, those
Let
double
me-
standards.
let me answer
are
your,
not
let
good.
me answer your two questions. Why did we withdraw? Because the case was presented before CADA judges. CADA judges and have
Are those CADA judges still there? Yes.
They are still there.
So why are you in an election?
Why you are in an election?
Wait, I come. You saw Besigye declare a high court judge incompetent and biased. Is that what should be in the temple of justice? They have requested, I think one time we were here on this big seat, and you Wenja yourself said that a complainant has a right to ask a judge to recuse himself of hearing my case. If I so, ask of it.
Yes.
Bobby Wine asked certain judges on that panel to recuse themselves of the case, and they refused.
Yes.
So from the start, there was bias. Number two, why are we participating in an election? We are participating in an election because this is a platform to educate Ugandans, to give them the right message, to tell them the wrongs and the rights that are going on in our country. Because if we sit behind, if we relax and keep in our comfortable zone, there is no way we are going to be able to inform Ugandans. And by the way, when you look at the statistics and what is happening, you see that Ugandans are all yearning for change. This yearning for change has not come because the opposition or the activists are seated. They are busy informing the country and educating the country of what's going on in the country. So what we have is what I can call a walinga. A scarecrow of a state, of a constitution, of a democracy. It looks like a democracy, but it's not a democracy. It looks like a state, but it's not a state. The law is applied on the small fish. There are so many people who are in prisons on cases that they didn't do. So if we have all these things, all these injustices happening in the country, then we cannot congratulate ourselves. Oh, we have had 30 years of a book, of a constitution. We are doing so well. We are excellently going on forward until we come and deal with the big elephant in the room. Then we can be able to say we are moving forward.
Okay.
Mr. Wanyaji.
We're stopping for a breather. When we come back, we shall be linking up in the second hour where I'll be able to pick up some of your feedback on this topic of discussion. Don't forget you can be part of the conversation on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Don't touch your radio. We'll be back after these messages. Good morning.
Hey, Alex.
it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends.
We're back. It's 2 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Good music, good friends. Good morning from wherever that you're listening to the show. My name is Wesige Wanyaji. The Big Seat happens every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 11. Now, it's not exceptional this morning. We talk about the 30 years since the promulgation of the Constitution. We know that this is the book that guides all of us, especially those that believe in constitutionalism and the rule of law. It literally means that all of us, the 45 million Ugandans, have agreed to be bound by this book. That all provisions in the book shall dictate how all the different arms of government interact, the roles of different political public officials, and the direction of our country, meaning that there's consistency and uniformity and predictability of how all different Ugandans interact with the state. We've had it for 30 years, but this is the fourth constitution that we've had. We know that since the orders in council that came from the Britain to here and they became law, to the different constitutions, especially the pre-independence constitution. We had the 1966-67 constitution, the Pigeonhole. We know after the 1966 fight in the Lubidi there, and the new constitution that was brought by President Obote there, and now the constitution that we follow up to today. There have been a couple of amendments in the provisions of the constitution, but we can at least clearly say and agree that it's the best constitution that we've ever had as a country. It spells out literally all the different aspects of our society. And in the spirit of the same constitution, Ugandans will be going in January to the polls to elect another president. Are we going to have the 10th president? Are we from President Museveni? Or shall have President Museveni have more 5 years as president? That will be determined by the people. And Article 1, power being in the hands of the citizens to decide the direction of the country. To help me discuss this and more is Peter Mpaka, is the flag bearer for the National Inter-Platform, Barra City North. Councillor Bwenjes, they did it. He's a lawyer of the High Court and all the subordinate courts there. And the RDC for Wampara, Musa Kwatanese, who has claimed that he's a member of the National Resistance Movement and the Patriotic League of Uganda. Now, to be a part of the conversation, you drop me a line on the topic of discussion on our social media handles, 912 Cruise FM on X and 91.2 Cruise FM on Facebook. Let me pick a bit of your calls now before I get back to the panel. And we need to get to hear from you on what you think about the 30 years of the Constitution. There are a couple of people that are ardent on this show that contribute, call in, they religiously listen to the show. There is Agava. Agava, you listen to the show and to appreciate you. Madilu in Hima, Chris and Saja. There's Kayongo Zubel here at 5 miles here, and there's so many of you who are ardent contributors of the show. Want to appreciate you so much. On 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Call in, and the drill is simple. You tell us where you are at and what you think about the topic, and just like that. The Big Seat.
Yes, Big Seat.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, my good friend Tanaji.
Yes, Agaba.
Yes, I'm listening attentively, and I want to appreciate for that contribution.
Yes, please.
But I wanted to remind that so-called RDC that it's true that in Uganda we don't have constitution. And in fact, instead of celebrating 30 years of constitution, they would have celebrated the military dictatorship. In fact, it is not the military dictatorship because there are some military members that are not comfortable in their office, like General Eru, because the CDF seated on his feet and says that his priority today will be dealing with the buffoon. And really, I want also to remind Musa Kwatanise that Omwire wa CA constituency assembly Museveni akahandika yagira ngo kano rwanga kano Dr. Kiza Besigye General Tinyefuza tubashimire ku discussinga on bintu bya government yagira ngo bashimire kuba listening silence hati inyongere yawe mugandere ngo Lieutenant General tumukunde atagambaho remove of term limits bakamukunene atena umurimbu ya officers list house arrest hati ejeya kwa constitution ubwirongo hati kaze abako bari na down member wa NRM member wa PRU chairman wa CDF na yondosinga ka ishenga candidate really the family ruling factor na military dictatorship etamuheru umwabirari isi wa Kongo Colonel Enanga na amayahari na amayegizirari Tsedi kuko garikari aripita mpaka mushabangu bakora arrangement leta ashwaringa muzeritu bahabura ibiyarga yabahereze rw'erendezi na abasakuturage nebyo kandi mapurtize abanyazi itubakunda mnongo
yebare mnongo on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Call in. Let's get to hear from you on our topic of discussion. We're talking about the 30 years since the promulgation of the Constitution. The big set.
Good morning, Wesley Banyaji.
Yes, good morning, my brother. What's your name and where you calling from?
As usual, Kayongo Zubairi, brother 2 miles Arsenal blood.
Yes, Kayongo.
Yeah, for sure, in Uganda we have no constitution. As RDC told us. We are still under military. If we see those people ready those ministries are still chosen by President Museveni, how do you expect justice in electoral commission? How do you expect justice in the laws? In fact, we have no constitution in Uganda. Have a good morning, Banyaji.
All right, good morning. When you say we have no constitution in the republic, that's ridiculous. Yeah, we have a constitution. For us to sit here and now to start claiming we have no constitution because there've been amendments in that constitution would be sad.
You see, what is the purpose of a constitution? A constitution is supposed to govern us.
Yes.
To make sure that all our actions are backed by law. And if there's anybody who should be abiding by the constitution, it is the person who made it, and that is the executive arm of government. Okay, him. But what we are faced, what actually we have now, even in studio, is a blatant violation of the same constitution. He's here. And he's so happy about it that I'm NRM. But we have the provisions of the Constitution and the Local Government Act which stipulate that he's a public servant. And actually, even what is worse, he's the chairperson of the district security committee of Rwampara. Now, to have a chairperson of a district committee who is partisan, then how safe is the property and lives of the members of the opposition there? Okay, because if my cattle are stolen, then I, as a member of the opposition, I'm actually so stuck. Should I go to police? Because the police is headed by a supporter of the NRM. So I don't expect any justice there. So, and having a constitution, it must be a constitution which works. So it's not just about having a piece of paper and a
Council Wenji, there is something I want us to understand here. I see Mr. Mpaka. do you want to mean that Mr. Mpaka, because he's opposition, has no means of survival, has no businesses, he's suffocated by the NRM? Yes. We have already seen the Bright Muhumuza here, who is the coordinator Nupu Barra City. We know how many businesses he runs here in the city. We know how many businesses even the Nupu president Bob Wine runs in the country and outside the country. We know how many businesses are run by Rubongoya. We know how many businesses are run by all opposition people. So do you want to mean that NRM people suffocates them? And also, Council Bwenje, you have contradicted with yourself so much. Even at the commencement of this show, you made a statement that I am following up with the courts of law to find out justice for the deaths of Denmark.
Yes.
Now again, you are saying Uganda has no constitution.
Yes.
So what are you? Where are you quoting the references and all that?
See, I'm saying a constitution must be able to work. Okay, but if someone says that that the provisions of the constitution in respect of the UPDF, for example, or in respect of the position and functions of the RDC are not working. So do we have a working constitution? And I think what we should also know that is the constitution of Uganda, it must be read as one whole thing. Okay? So if you as the RDC here, you do not respect it, okay? You do not have any provision in your contract of employment, if you have any actually, which says that you are entitled to be a member of the NRM. Then
are you going to trivialize the debate to
it's
just
actually not trivial?
No, I mean, are we going to spend 2 hours here?
Yes.
For you just wasting time proving to him that he's not a member of the NRM?
No,
is that why we are here?
You see, it is not. You see, it is a
what I don't agree with is to waste time here. Arguing whether this man is a member of the NRM. How can we spend 2 hours here debating whether he's a member of the NRM or not?
The point is that this RDC here needs to be dismissed from his role as an RDC, because as per what is stipulated in the constitution, he is not supposed to declare that he is an activist of the NRM. If he so wishes to be an activist of the NRM, he should be dismissed, or he should resign and go and do party work. And that is the point.
And it is actually so hurting and painful that you are asking him for an opinion on whether we have a constitution or not. Yet he is in blatant violation of the same. So he has no moral authority at all to make a submission.
Move out of the studio.
Okay? And actually,
I made
it is a mockery.
My position is very clear.
But your position is in conflict to the law.
Has the constitution, and the constitution is working.
However, in simple terms,
the constitution does not take away the Tukwatanse Musa a patriot. There is a Tukwatanse Musa civil servant, an RDC, and there is Tukwatanse Musa a patriot.
So in which capacity are you here?
That's why I've told you that the constitution also understands that and says I even have the right to vote. So will I vote someone whom I have not been supporting? No. That's why I'm clearly stating it, that however much I'm a civil servant, I'm an RDC. I support President Museveni.
What we should agree with is, in light of our discussion, in light of our discussion, what we should agree with is that we simply have an NRM handbook. We don't have a constitution. We just have a handbook, a set of statements that are written for feelings, satisfy certain feelings in the country. Because when we reach a stage,
you see, Peter and Musa, I can forgive the two of you. I cannot give a lawyer who has been in practice for years, and on Monday early morning is going to cite the same constitution before the bench.
But you see what when
You
they
see,
say
for you to say there is no constitution and you're a legal practitioner on Monday early in the morning,
Yes,
you're
yes.
going to go before courts of law and cite the same law.
no, you see,
That's what-
no, let me defend Gwenje.
And you're telling
No, let me say
Ugandans that
this.
there is no constitution.
No,
How are we going to
no, let
believe
me
you?
say this.
Even
Allow
when
me.
he said Uganda has no UPDF, when Uganda's territorial
You see,
boundaries
let
are
me say
secured by
this. Let me
UPDF.
say this,
I
West.
wondered.
Yes.
Let me say this, West. Our laws can arrest a petty thief, but our laws cannot arrest a member of the first family who has been accused by another member of the first family of being the best thief in Uganda. You remember the other day the CDF stood and said one of the sons-in-law of President Museveni is the best thief in this country, and our laws could not arrest him.
So
The IGG could not. The IGG could not start an investigation
so
on
you
that.
expected
But when they say
without any formal complaint
yes,
for the IGG
yes,
or for any agents of government that is responsible for fighting corruption to simply go and
Then-
arrest the
then let me
Mr.
ask you.
Nwabogo
Then let me
because
ask you.
of an
Then-
opinion
then-
of
then let me
his
ask you.
brother-in-law.
What is the purpose of whistleblowers? Haven't we had cases presented to court because somebody has
But whistleblowing is not
So
on-
if
on
the CDF
social media.
whistleblow, did a whistleblowing,
is formal.
let's agree on this, that this constitution, the set of laws we have, arrest small fish. When we reach a point where we are touching the president, we amend tujikwatako ne tuchusa. When we reach where we want to something that is going to fix somebody in the first family, we amend to provide for them to continue. This is just a set of statements in a simple handbook, in a notebook, not a constitution as it is, because it's supposed to be read and practiced wholesomely. Gwenje is going to be
the constitution has provisions that dictate elections.
Yes.
All right. The constitution has provisions that provide for the National Assembly that you're advocating to go and join.
Yes.
The same constitution has allowed you with all full freedom of expression to come here on the big seat and articulate and debate issues. This is in the spirit of constitution.
No, you see, let me say
The
something.
constitution does not allow us to come here.
It guarantees your rights.
We were born to come here. Article 20 of that same constitution says that human rights inhere in us as a result of us being human beings. So even if the constitution was never there, we are entitled to speak
Now,
and to live after speaking.
The question is here. The question to
Okay?
Kansobwenje
And
is
not
here.
to speak and die. No.
The question to Kansobwenje is here.
and I wanted to
And
say
in that
this.
very constitution, the question to Kansobwenje is here. Then where did the people who inserted in the Article 43 that limits our rights, where did the people get that mandate from?
You see, you are talking about the UPDF. But it is the same
you
UPDF
are the
stopping him from
Kansobwenje
campaigning.
is dodging a sensitive question.
Yes.
He's saying that our rights are inherent. Now I have asked you. We know that Article 43 limits those rights.
Yes.
Where did the people who inserted that article get the mandate from?
Where?
Why would there be a limitation?
Why is there a
If
limitation?
rights
the
are inherent,
inherent.
why should there be guarantees and limitations?
Yes, because society must have order. Because society must
See,
have order.
You see,
Contradiction
you-
there.
you
What's
see-
the way is the contradiction? I want you to say this.
Unlike the two of you,
You see, that provision of the constitution which you cite, it says that if a right is to be restricted, the government must also have a restriction on that one. So the government of the day has to provide a reason why that specific right should not be enjoyed. So the restriction is not absolute.
meaning the inherence of
Yes.
those rights
Yes.
is not absolute.
Actually, according to 43,
Of course.
Yes.
according to Article 43, Mwenje,
Yes.
you have the right to speak to me.
Yes.
But if you speak to me what I'm not interested to hear, that has also
insults
interfering
you.
with my rights.
Yes.
I have the right to sue you
beat me.
because you are
Yes,
you have
can
the freedom
sue
of
me,
speech.
but you cannot beat me.
You are
Easy.
interfering with my rights as
You
well.
can sue me, but you do not have right.
I think,
Actually, even
gentlemen, we cannot sit here and wish there was no
No.
constitution.
You see.
There is a living
Even right
document
now,
here.
Let me say something here.
Yes.
Even
You put a question to me,
even as we speak
Banyaji.
now,
No,
the
let's have one
IGG,
person.
The IGG, she has been appointed unconstitutionally. She is still a sitting judge of the High Court, and the Constitution says if you are appointed an IGG, you cannot go on to serve as a judge.
But Biabakama is still a judge in the judiciary.
And that's what we are telling you.
That's what you're saying. So the Constitution is not working.
Yes. And you also you put a statement to me, a question to me about the elections. You have a constitution that gazettes elections. You have a constitution that puts laws for driving on roads and whatever and whatever. Let's benchmark with the 2021 election. President Museveni came out and said that the NUP stole his 1 million votes. NUP stole his 1 million votes. And we told him, if you know we have stolen your votes and you have the evidence, then surrender. Let's go back to the elections. He refused and insisted and remained in power. So as long as something is going to affect President Museveni, the constitution is powerless. But if something is concerning Maikatera Masinde in Rwenturagara, Maikatera Masinde in Rwenjeru, Maikatera Masinde in Ushenyi, that's okay. The law will apply, will follow, will be done to the dot. So it's simply a handbook that suits the wishes and desires of one family,
Okay,
and that cannot
let's
be a constitution.
Let's hear what let's hear what the listeners have to say. Let's hear what the listeners have to say on 752-912-912-178-0912-910. Call in and join the conversation. We're talking about the 30 years of the 1995 Constitution. What do you think about the law, the grand norm that we are bound by as a country? On 752-912-912-178-0912-910. The big seat.
The big seat.
Yes, good morning. Turn down the volume of that radio.
Here in Buremba, Kazo district.
Yes, please.
On top of discussing whether the constitution is for people, whether Uganda has a constitution or not, I want to consult the Ugandans that this government is not pro people or this constitution is not pro people. In the long run, this government was not brought up by people. It was brought by a small group of people who had their intentions. In fact, until they complete their intentions, it's when Ugandans will be liberated. Take, for instance, Mr. Museveni has ruled this country on top of speculations and forced hope. For example, I was told of oil refinery way back in 2003. But till now, even a single liter of petrol have been brought up that, this is Ugandan petrol and now we are excelling. So we are going to pray very hard until these people complete their mission and then Uganda is liberated. This is Jonan in Wizi, in Waremba, Kazo district. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonan. Those that are watching on Cruise TV, just type in Cruise TV on YouTube. You'll be able to watch all that is happening right here in Plot 12, Mutilen. Aijuka Wilberforce, you are watching Wargava Onesimus, you're in Buheju, and you're watching live. Tuniamsi Magodon, you're in Rugazi here in Bara. Levi, Arini Itwe, you're saying you're a teacher at Starline, and you welcome us to the program, and you're listening in. I want to appreciate you. I have Brian here. You're listening to the radio. Asingwide Kenneth, you're watching all the way from Uganda. Thank you. Andrew Tumusime, you're saying no need of celebrating the independence since Ugandans are not independent politically, socially, and economically. Nwagaba Richard, you're listening in from Uganda at Kwasa Ronald, and you're saying Musa is struggling to defend the indefensible. Misha Chaland, you are listening and watching the show. Argaba Onesimus, I see you. And Alex Martinelli, the Rugayo. Ruyanga is where you're watching from. And there's so many of you that are locked on the radio. I want to appreciate you so much. Call in on 752 912 912 1780 912 910. The big say.
Yes, good morning, Cruise FM.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you catching the show from?
You're speaking to MC Mahereza.
Yes, Mahereza.
I'm straight out of Katiban here in Kamwenge.
Yes, please.
So, Mr. Blaga, what happened to our MTN line?
There's something technical. There's a glitch there, but we're going to work on it and rectify and restore so that you can be able to call in on the same.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, on 752 912 912 and 780 912 910. Call in and let's get to hear from you on 752 912 912 and 780 912 910. The big say.
Yeah, Mr. Wesley, thank you very much.
Yes, please.
This is Billy Sinjo.
Yes, please.
See, the point of discussion about the Constitution, gentlemen in the studios, they are just making us getting the contradiction. The reality is we have a Constitution. Whether it should be the government representative or the opposition representative in the studio,
yes,
they should first accept that. The major point is that the Constitution has been misused or it has been overwhelmed by some powerful men. Take an example. The first call I cited about General Tumukunde, can talk about Sejusa when they made a comment on the politics. But those people were interdicted, they were taken to court. But then today we have Musa Tukwatanisi, who is declaring a PLU chairperson. They have a steady, they call it steady what? Generator.
The standby generator.
Social media, proclaims everything political. He is not witch-hunted, who is not hunted by the Constitution, which we already have. But the Constitution which hunted Sejusa, which hunted those other generals. But then to come to this point now, the Constitution that the opposition goes to elections, if they know that the Constitution is not there, why are they really participating? You see, all opposition members should first get it clear and understand this. It's until when they get their minds up and know which part of the government they should first deal with and get the power to change this Constitution. Other than coming to the studio, they make cries, we don't have a Constitution. Actually, the main point should be how do we get these NRM MPs who always raise hands and make these changes into the Constitution. By them, the opposition gaining strength of taking over these members, and then they make the Constitution which will suit their requirements and the national requirements as they say. Thank you very much.
All right, we appreciate it. On 752 912 912 and 780 912 910. Call in. Let's get to hear from you on what you think about the 30 years of the Constitution of Uganda. The big said.
Yes, brother.
Yes, good morning. Where are you calling from and what's your name?
I'm in Kachika here.
Yes, please. What's your name?
This is Baron.
Yes, Baron.
I want to thank you for the show. And most especially, I want to tell all those in the studios, let's all gather, vote President Museveni. NRM Jew.
All right, on 752 912 912 and 780 912 910. President Museveni Jew. 0752 912 912 and 780 912 910. The big set.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yes, lady. What's your name? And we are happy
to... This is Ruth speaking.
Yes, Ruth.
I'm calling for respect in that discussion of the gentlemen who are in the studios.
Please.
Whereby they told Squatanise to be withdrawn from the RDC position. Me, I'm like, they should respect each other, and due to the fact that they are not the ones who appointed him, to mention that one in the public and misleading the public that he should be removed and he doesn't qualify. Like he was appointed because he supports NRM. That's not a fact. That's meaning the people who appointed him and disrespecting us listeners who are listening to this program. Let them respect themselves. And another thing.
Yes, please.
The petition, they were talking about how they took the petition to the court. But then the petition was withdrawn later. And I think my answer was like, they didn't have enough evidence to defend themselves that they won the election. And another thing whereby they were saying that...
All right. Thank you, Ruth. You've done us good. I want to appreciate you there. Thank you for all the calls that have been coming through. We're going into a second topic of discussion. Perhaps let me allow you conclude before we get into to talk about the independence.
People have not really understood us. We are not saying that there's no book called the Constitution. It is there. It's a physical book. You can read it. It has the 295 words. Provisions there, Article 1 up to Article 295. But it's just not about being in a book. Those provisions must be working. And the only person to make them work is the government of the day. So, and our opinion is, as long as the government is not respecting the provisions of the Constitution entirely, not selectively, then we do not have a working constitution. Okay? So no one is saying that you cannot go to a bookstore and you buy a copy of the Constitution. It is there. Yes, but what does it do if people do not respect it? Especially people like him who are very proud of violating it in front of the studio here. So we have to be very categorical and say we appreciate the fact that the CSAT and the product of which was the Constitution, but it's not just about, it's like if you are saying I'm a father of Bwenje, but Bwenje is a 1 year old. He does not have lunch. He doesn't have where to stay. He's always hungry, he doesn't go to school and so forth. So it's not just about you saying, I'm the father. You must take an additional step and look after Bwenje. So just enacting a constitution and you dump it there, and you yourself, you don't respect it. So if you don't respect it, yet it is you who made it. So whom do you expect to respect it? No one. Okay? So I urge people of my caliber to take steps and to remove the government of the day, because it is not either by force of arms or not, either because it is not respecting the order of the day, and the order of the day is found nowhere else but in the Constitution. Article 1 of which says that all power, all power belongs to the people. But who the people are, it is a subject of debate, because the 99% of the people actually don't have power. The power is with him and his other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to specifically kani nyenda abantu mumpurire munchenge. I want to insist that there is no constitution. After all, nyondo katera masinde ndio wabulisho. Royana basa kuba yahiza karuma arume bigambo bye, but for me I want to say that there is no constitution, and I want to use this example. In the Christian faith we have a Bible, and we take that as our constitution. The Muslims have a Quran. Now I want us to imagine that God was a man living amongst us, and in his Bible which he has given us, he puts an article that says Otarshambana. Then after 2 weeks, we meet God with the wife of Bwenje in a certain hotel, will we still refer to his Bible? If we met God who said Mutarishambana, and we meet God in that same act, or God makes an amendment and says, okay, because of my personal needs now, I want to amend this. Mushambane huko, kama shambane kache. Will we still respect the Bible because it has been amended to fit into the desires of this man called God? So if we are talking about the Constitution, it must apply to the big man, to the big men and big women in this country, as in the same way it affects and applies to the Katera Masindes and the people in our villages and the people who don't have the Gamba Nogus. If we don't have that equality in our equality in our society, then we cannot refer to a constitution. We should only thank the NRM for creating stability, and that stability has helped them to manipulate us, manipulate all systems, manipulate all documents, manipulate statutory instruments, do and govern us the way they wish. And I want to take the comment of one of the men there, one of the callers. He said that the people in opposition, tuseme kuteka hama jezi na naman gone, kurebo kuturiyeho ababariyo bategeka kubi, then tukaleta the right things. That is the biggest challenge that we have. Nabo chencho chinkushabira abantu muterere mpinda hinduka tutekeho constitution erabe nebasa affectinga buri muntu wena kandi kaleta uburinganiza, justice to all. Like the principle of law says that justice must be served, but must also be seen to be served to all.
Okay. Now, conclusive on the very matter, like one of the callers said, my brothers, the Peter Mpakas, the Rangers, if we say that Uganda has no constitution and has no functioning constitution, the only advice, my brother, one of the callers has advised you, because everything you have seen has gone through Parliament, has been amended by the MPs, not the president. So if you think rightly that the constitution is not there, or there is what you need in the constitution, then go in Parliament and cause the amendment. And you've seen it even recently when they amended a certain article about, on funding of the parties. That if you are not a member of IPOD, you are not supposed to receive funding from government. We saw NUP boycotting IPOD. Then later on, they have written now apologizing. Now we see we need to join. We are members. However much we are still in courts of law contesting against the amendment, but we request to be members again. Now you can see the contradiction within these opposition people. They when the amendment was being passed in Parliament, they were asleep. After the amendment, IPOD sits. They see they are not receiving funding. Now they come again to apologize. Now you see here, you saw they are requesting to join IPOD again. So you wonder the kind of people, the double standard people we are dealing with. That's why I publicly say that I have to support President Museveni because of his clear vision and clear ideology.
Okay, thank you. Let's shift to another topic. Uganda celebrated 63 years of independence. What does this mean for us as a country? Let me start with Bwenje. 63 years of independence, what does it mean for you as a Ugandan? Is it Uhuru, do you feel independent of the imperialists that were here for a couple of years? Do we feel free? Are we in charge of the affairs of our country?
Well, of course, it's there are now 60. It is, you said, 60 years of independence, but I think a fundamental question is, what are we independent of? For me, there are 63 actually, I mean, years of pain. I think to be very straightforward, there's nothing at all to be independent about. We are still enslaved as we were between 1894 up to 1962, those 68 years. What has only changed is the race of the dictator. The dictator before 1962 was, of course, Caucasian. He was white. But now, he's now what? Black, a Negroid. But apart from the change of race, we do not have a change in the respect of human rights. People are being incarcerated in dungeons, in safe houses, in basements, by the very institutions which have the responsibility of affording them a protection for their rights and freedoms. We have a UPDF that is under captivity. We have a state which is a fusion of the NRM, the state, and the president. We have a parliament which is only there to serve the interests of the state. We have a cabinet of ministers who serve no purpose at all, apart from abiding what the head of state has said. Yet under the constitution, they should be his advisors. We have a we have a PM who has no capacity at all to summon a convention of ministers. Actually, we have a PM who serves no purpose at all, apart from, coming to the parliament and saying, you see, I'm here to communicate the position of the government and so forth. But by and large, people are still dying of hunger. When you go to the hospitals of government, there's not even Panadol. You don't find personnel there to attend to you. People are dying on the floors. No, people are dying on the floors.
Because
if I may ask him,
but you see,
let him go there. Let him go to the Faro.
We can pick on a journalist who told the president that there's a hospital in Mukono that is dilapidated, yes, that had no health workers, that is congested. This gentleman was arrested, and the prime minister had no shame to say, indeed, I went and found the congestion, but people were only congesting because of the doctors and the provision of service at the hospital. And as citizens, would you sit back and listen to the prime minister?
Doctors are there, but not enough. You see, statistically, I like figures. Statistically tell us that the ratio, doctor to patient ratio, is still
okay. The statistic I can give you, about 16 women die every day to preventable pregnancy situations, and they die, 16 of them every day. If it's about statistics, there you go. Aren't you aware that our women, our mothers are dying in public hospitals because there is no blood, because there is no midwife, because of the distance, the roads between villages and hospitals? Don't you know these are facts?
Now, Mr. Banyaji, if you are bringing that issue, I want you to compare, because in this we are in a comparative analysis. Uganda has not started today. Neither did it start in 1962.
Yes.
We know Uganda has been here. But when you look at it, between 1962 to 1986, Uganda had 20 million people. And what was leading to this? Because many people were, one, seeking refuge from neighboring countries because of political instabilities. Two, the young people who could be born, who could die, the infant mortality rate was very high. That's why the population was at 20 million people. Immediately, President Museveni took over in 1986. He introduced immunization programs. And immediately we saw population shifting. Between 1986 to 2010, the population had to shift to 32 million people. By 2020, the population had shifted to 44.6 million people. As we speak now, the population of Uganda is at 51.2 million people. Now, when you look at
where are you getting that figure? The last census that we had
of
was
course,
about
of course,
45, 46.
statistically, the figure is got from the death rates and birth rates, and you know.
But majority of Ugandans are dying in their homes and in their villages. The state has no record of their deaths.
We go with what
majority of Ugandans are not even being born in hospitals. They are being born in houses and communities. So where are you getting these records?
Now, those records are factual because they are there. And you know, the population census provided what it provided. Now we keep accumulating on the birth rates and the death rates. So when you look at the rate at which the population is steadily growing, you cannot simply say that Uganda is not a state that is functioning well, because you know the factors that contribute to population growth.
Yes.
One, the health is a big factor. Another big factor on the population growth is the stability of the country. People are not dying,
but Musa,
and people are not.
Musa being a representative of the president, and isn't it sad that it's the same rhetoric that you keep airing from the president to all functionaries of the state?
Ask him.
When Ugandans raise some of the pertinent bottlenecks that you must overcome as the state, as government, you remind them of how far you've brought them. But there is a projection of where they want to go.
No,
do you want them to raise that as a matter of fact?
Mr. Banyaji,
yes.
The projection is very clear. People were dying, they are no longer dying. People would
that's the past. Now,
another thing is people would not go to school. By 1986, we used to have only 1,900 graduates. Today, we graduate over 700,000 per year. That is a steady progress in education.
Ask him. If he has a child, okay, I don't know.
Speak to the microphone.
If he has a boy or a girl, was he born in a private hospital or not?
A government hospital?
No, you. Yes, you.
My child has to be born from a government hospital.
Has to. Now, for and you, since you have no child.
No.
I can speak for you. My daughter was born here at Mbara Referral Hospital.
Very good.
And I paid 0 shillings.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
And that actually on record, that pregnancy was taken over.
In which ward?
Let me tell you.
No, I was in the general ward. I was in the general ward.
Let me guide Peter Park. NRM government with President Museveni takes over the pregnancy immediately.
No.
Immunization
starts from there. People will beat you.
A baby is born.
How can you say that government takes charge of the pregnancy?
How many of his friends?
Immunization have reduced him.
Let's hear from Peter Mpaka.
For me, I wish in this studio this morning, West J had invited a 63-year-old woman or a 63-year-old man. Because when we are discussing these topics, for me, I don't want to look at quantity. Oh, we are 50-something millions. Oh, we have 200-something universities. Oh, we are graduating 40-something graduates. Oh, I don't want to look at quantity. For me, I want to look at quality. The 50-something graduates that we get every year, can they make a matchbox? What skills? Can they make a mpitirizo? Can they make a leather bread? Can they make tear gas? What contribution are they coming to contribute to the economy of this country? You have said, West J, that for you went to the Mbara Regional Referral Hospital and went to the general ward. You went to the general ward because you are a Katera Masinde like me. I can tell you that in that hospital, there is a section of the rich on public land. In a hospital that is built, in a section that is built on taxpayers' money. But when you go to that side, you have to pay. So until we talk about development and leave the indicators of growth. For growth, we will grow because people impregnating others, and others are giving birth, the numbers will increase. The numbers will increase. Even during the resistance, let me tell you, even during the days of instability of President Museveni, that's when President Museveni produced all his children.
But can I give you some information?
When there was instability, so don't tell us about wars. Don't tell us about
and
wars.
It is a shaming of
no,
him.
but he has raised a very important issue.
But
President Museveni had all his children in the Amin era.
Yes.
But that had instability here and wars.
Survival was for the fittest.
So for me, I want to conclude.
Peter, you know Charles Brown's principle of survival
conclude.
for the fittest. I can assure you, during that time, survival was for the fittest.
But you can see, even now, survival is for the rich. Survival is for the rich.
You will see that Kwatanise Musazi, the UPE and the USE products are here.
For me, I want to.
Even commissioners. You can see what NRM government does.
Yes. Let's allow him conclude as we get out of studio.
For me, to the listener that is listening us, we don't want to come to this program and it ends up like a shouting match.
Yes.
Please improve, fight and work hard and improve the quality of your life. Don't look at quantity. Don't look at I have increased the number of years. I have done this. I have so many children. I have produced another child. But those children you have in your house, what quality of education do they get? What quality of health care do they get?
Let me
what
read
quality of life are they living?
Let me read.
When we put Ugandans to that quality question, the qualitative question, we will be able to move forward.
Okay. On Facebook, on the 63 years of independence, Faustino Bernard Nwahid is saying they should prioritize unity, better services for the citizens, job creation, transparent leadership. Andrew Tumusiime, leaders should prioritize unemployment, health sector, plus education. Nyankore Man is saying, I want to pity the RDC is busy misleading Ugandans. The constitution of Uganda was duplicated in favor of Museveni. Turiamsi Magodon, you're saying our leaders, especially my home MP Kashari North, Honorable Basiri, should work on the following. 6 hospitals, 6 schools, the roads. I know you cannot fulfill all the promises, but at least do have. Ian Ahedeza, you're saying in order to promote Uganda in terms of development, at least the government should construct factories in at least every parish. Orishaba Maselbi contributed. They are fighting corruption, service delivery to the people, especially in terms of infrastructure and the health. Adana Banyenza Bachinyenza, you're saying the constitution is manipulated year in, year out. What's the purpose for that? Jordan Morata is saying things have really changed since COVID. We have experienced the problem of poor service delivery. Andrew Tumusiime, small body leaders should put unity and peace in the first place. You're listening again from Kakoba, BSU. Maridad, Simon Peter, peace and security. First others, follow later. Thank you so much for those that have been a part of the conversation. You've been fantastic. Let's meet next Saturday on the big set. My name is Wesige Banyaj. We have news at the top of the hour. We are on the international break. Arsenal will be back next weekend. But don't forget that we have thorough programming all through. But for now, we wish you a very good Saturday as you do your best to make our country better. For God and my country, Wesige Banyaj. Good morning.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of this radio station or its management.
This radio is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission, UCC.